Welcome to the Brown Report. It is a Wednesday edition of the show. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. Bill has the night off. Stephen has the night off. So it's me, myself, and I tonight on the show. So thanks so much for watching us live on Periscope. And also thanks so much for listening on blogtalkradio.com/Brown Report. And thanks for liking us on Facebook as well. We have 2,203 likes right now. So thank you so much for liking the show. And make sure to, if you don't like us yet, like us, to get the latest news and views that you can use on the Brown Report. So tonight, folks, we've got lots to talk about. And as always, we have a tradition on the Brown Report. It's called Feel Good Story of the Day. If you want a Feel Good Story of the Day, you make sure you tune into the entire show to get the Feel Good Story of the Day at the end of the program. So make sure to do that. Also, if you like us, share us on Periscope and share us on Facebook so we can reach as many people as possible. Remember, this is a grassroots effort, folks. This is not like some multi-million-dollar operation that we run here. So make sure to share us, and we would love to hear from you on the show. All right, so let's start off with last night, Democrat debate. I watched about 2 hours of the shill of the socialist communist movement in the United States that we call the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is not your JFK Democrats. They're not even close to even anything that JFK was. JFK was a person that wanted to end the Federal Reserve. Amazingly, you can look it up. It's the truth. He also wanted to get back on the gold standard. All these things that Democrats of today don't even want to do. It seems like the Democrats of this era, in the 2015 era, all they care about is what they can give you rather than trying to empower you to make our nation a better place. The Democrats continue to push a socialist agenda. When Hillary Clinton was asked last night, are you a progressive or I guess a moderate or something? She says, I'm a progressive. That means you're being progressively worse, Hillary, because there's a trust issue with you. And when Bernie Sanders starts saying, let's stop talking about the emails. No, Bernie, let's keep talking about the emails. Let's talk about Benghazi. Let's talk about the things that Hillary Clinton's up to. Let's have a valid discussion. The only person that looked like they had a decent head on their shoulders, and head and shoulders is not Bernie Sanders, is Webb. Jim Webb seemed like he was the only one up there that had any sort of common sense of what was going on. Now, Jim Webb is not the, I guess you could say, my favorite candidate, but if any of all the candidates up there, he looked like he had the most common sense and he wasn't a complete left-wing crazed bat. I mean, look at the Democrats, folks. Let's look at them for a second. If you looked at the people on the stage, they're all old white people. Now, I'm not trying to say old white people aren't smart and can run this country. But remember, the Democrat Party is the party supposedly of inclusion. You would think that they will be including so many people, which is far from the truth. They have no minorities whatsoever on that stage. No Hispanics, no blacks. One woman, a very, almost 70-year-old woman. It's just not the party of inclusion. They're always saying, we're looking out for the people. We're looking out for the American people. They're not. When you've got a guy like Bernie Sanders that's up there, that says that he is for free college, let's look at the facts. Here's the facts. You can look this up. Google it, Bing it, whatever sources you want to use. We've got millions of people that don't work in this country. They're not being counted in the unemployment rate of 5.1%. 94 million Americans don't work in the United States. So I guess they're using Common Core math to figure out the unemployment rate. Lowest labor participation rate since the late 70s. Jimmy Carter's time, right? So the Democrats are saying that Obama's done such a great job. So explain why there's 94 million people not working. Explain almost 50 million people on food stamps. Explain this situation to us in $18.5 trillion in debt. Please explain to us how you're going to pay for all these wonderful unicorns and rainbows. President Obama cannot do that. He's trying to fundamentally change America by destroying the very fabric that made America great. It's a hard work ethic. It's getting out there, not being punished for doing better or getting an education. Here's the thing, folks. If you got a bachelor's or master's degree, associate's degree, whatever degree you may have, I've got a bachelor's degree. So Bernie Sanders wants to give that away now. So if he wants to give away, I'm not saying, get $100,000 in student loan debt. Actually, I had a Bright Future Scholarship in the state of Florida, 75% tuition paid. I paid the other 25%. I paid for all my books. And guess what? I came out with zero debt. I never took a student loan out. And you're like, Matthew, how'd you do it? I worked hard. I worked. You need to work hard. It shouldn't be easy, because if it's easy, you don't appreciate the accomplishment. You don't appreciate the things. So Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton and these other Democrats are like, we want to do free college. We've got millions of people that have degrees that can't find work. Now, keep in mind, a bachelor's degree is much more popular than it used to be, decades ago. I get that. A lot of people are getting college degrees. But why should I, that worked hard in high school, earned the scholarship, paid the rest out of it my pocket? Now, I can't get reimbursed for that. So all that hard work to earn it, all the money that I paid into it, they're going to try to give away for free. And not only that, folks, they're going to tax me and you, the American people that have jobs, the ones that are lucky enough to have a job nowadays, right? They're going to tax us to provide for them. How is that earning it? It's like, I earned a college degree. Great. Who paid for it? Everybody else. Awesome. Congratulations. Then you'll say, Matthew, you had a Bright Future Scholarship. That was paid by the state of Florida. Taxpayers paid. No, taxpayers didn't pay for it. Florida Lottery did. People voluntarily spending money on lottery tickets help support my 75% tuition scholarship. I always like the liberals that, the liberal several years ago said, you had a Bright Future Scholarship. That was guaranteed, blah, blah, blah. No, it wasn't. It was Florida Lottery. When you talk to liberals sometimes, they're like, they just spout off stuff, and you're like, you have to sit them down for a second. It's like, do you know what you just said to me? Do you understand the basic concept of capitalism? Do you understand the concept of hard work? Oh, yeah, I know hard work, yeah. I work for a small business, and I don't get health insurance, so I think we should have single-payer health care. No. Americans pay. Americans have a choice. You can work for a major corporation that offers health insurance. That's fine. You can have a small business and buy your own. Not being forced by the government. Keep in mind, not endorsing it. You have choices in this country. Stop trying to make outcomes for people. We have choices. The only choice the Democrats like is pro-choice when you want to murder a child in the womb. That's the only choice that they like. Did you notice that? It's madness. That's the only choice that they like. If you want to murder a child in the womb, you have a choice. But if you want to not buy health insurance in this country, they will fine you and penalize you. You don't have a choice there, do you? But they say, you have a choice. You have a choice to either buy the insurance or get a penalty. That's a choice. It's like President Obama saying he wouldn't want his daughters to be, forced into a bad situation of unwanted pregnancy, right? Yeah, that's a great president. Make it a great example. Make it a great example. Just the irony of it all, folks. Just the irony of it all. So yeah, Democrats going nuts. Cheering when Hillary was asked, do you want to comment about the email situation? She says, no. What a snobby woman that is. Not because she's a woman. Just look what she is. She's a woman acting snotty, won't answer the questions because she thinks she's above it. I'm hoping that the Republicans row a set and decide to do something about it. She deserves what's coming to her. You know that karma thing, what goes around comes around? She's been getting a lot of karma built up, and it's going to be coming around one day. And hopefully it's very soon. I cannot stand this person that continues to treat the American people like we are second-rate citizens, while treating illegal aliens like they're the gold. Because they want, here's the thing, Democrats want illegal aliens in this country to become citizens or at least be able to vote. Because if they can get them on the welfare rolls, all of them, we are screwed. Not only that, we'll be spending hundreds of billions of dollars even more on the ones that we should not be paying for to begin with. So that's what's going to happen, folks. We're going to get stuck in such a bad situation with all these illegal aliens. They want them to vote. They want to put them on welfare. Because here's the problem. When they come over, they're poor, uneducated, really no skills. They're not high technology. They might be in the service industry, so they're going to be poor. Right? It's the math. It's not Common Core math. It's simple math. So you see all these illegal aliens coming in, trying to get them to become citizens, or at least voting rights or whatever. Because you know what? They're entitled to. They're entitled to vote because they're living here. No, they're not supposed to be here. They're illegal. You try to go to Mexico and try to go across that border, go south, and try to see what happens to you. They enforce their stuff. But here's the thing. When you want to wage an economic war, you just dump uneducated, no skills, and poor people onto a country that gives away stuff for free, like we do. Free education, free housing, free food, free cash, whatever. We give away so much stuff. So I am absolutely, positively sick and tired of the Democrat Party trying to pawn off all these things, saying, hey, you're entitled to family medical leave. You should be entitled to it. If you want family medical leave, work for a corporation that offers it. We're going to put small businesses out of business because they're going to start requiring these things. Or small businesses won't be able to grow. Maybe the plan is to keep the big corporations in charge. But why would you want to be forced to do things? Back in the 1930s, fun fact, in case you didn't know, back in the 1930s, there was wage controls put in by President Roosevelt, FDR, the magical Democrat. So FDR he instituted during the Great Depression wage controls. So in order to get around the wage controls, the companies in the United States said, we need to offer something that's not pay. So they created health insurance, giving the ability for people to actually have something that no other companies were offering, to get people to actually want to work for them. So it worked, and it became a standard for most companies in modern time to offer health insurance, dental, life insurance, all sorts of different insurance products to their employees to entice them to work for them and stay with them. As long, if you stay with a corporation for a long time, you might even get paid more. A lot of people, especially in the lower ranks, jump from job to job, and they always get low pay. It's a fact, folks. If you see people in their late 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and minimum wage jobs, just look at their past work history. They jump from job to job. If they didn't like it, no promotions, whatever. I mean, if you want something, you got to earn it. You just cannot feel that you're entitled to it. If you get this entitlement mentality in a company, most companies will say you can go ahead and just kick rocks down the street and have a good day. They don't need to tolerate it. But we talk about a major corporation a little bit later on the show that tried something and it's really affected them negatively. Major corporation, to be exact. I'm going to change gears here because, folks, you deserve the truth, right? You deserve the truth. All right, so I don't know if this is going to get Jeb Bush in any trouble, but we talked about this last night with Chris Berroy, a Republican strategist and co-host of the Tuesday Night Show. And I encourage you to listen to Tuesday Nights because Chris Berardi brings an interesting perspective as how he would advise candidates in a lot of situations. Chris is a very smart guy. That's why we have him on the show. So Donald Trump was attacked by, and this comes from the conservative treehouse, busted. CNN uses Jeb Bush staffer planted an audience to frame Donald Trump narrative in hit job. So this woman, Lauren, let's see here, Batchelder. I'm sorry if I mispronounce it, but who really cares, right? This chick is just like garbage. So she goes out and she goes to an event, a town hall sponsored by CNN or whatever. CNN's like, I want you to attack Donald Trump. And I want you to say, why is he so hard on women? Oh, this is great. This is awesome. Congrats. So this chick decides to say, hey, I was going to attack, Jeb Bush at this event. So as good conservatives, good people that do research and try to figure out who these people are, what their motivation is, they start digging on this woman. And amazingly, there was a tweet she sent out back on August 6th, at Jeb Bush, best boss ever, explanation point. Go, go, governor, with like a smiley face. So, and she's white, redhead chick. So she's like, and she's also said she's an intern. They pulled her LinkedIn account information. It says campaign intern for Jeb Bush for president 2016. She's also a blogger. Ooh, that's really credible. Everybody's a blogger nowadays, right? So she's sitting in the crowd. She asked the question, why are you so hard on women? There's all sorts of fun things. It shows that she has a LinkedIn account. Shows her with John McCain and other political people. She was also a college correspondent. She was a campaign intern. Oh my goodness, she was looking to get so high in the organization by doing this to help good old Jeb. These people, and I'm not saying Jeb Bush did this, but think about it for a minute. Let's think really damn hard. I want you to think so hard you get a migraine headache. Jeb Bush's campaign is out of control. I said it. If you cannot get your campaign director, campaign manager, your local managers together and say, listen, I want you to act with the utmost ethical and moral standards because I want to be president. I want to set an example, and my campaign team will set an example. When I was a campaign director for Nick Wilkerson in Florida for Congress, I held the utmost highest standard. I would, if I wanted to post something, he knew that I was going to do the right thing. I wasn't going to do something that got him in trouble. But apparently, someone's going rogue, and maybe other people are going rogue within the Jeb Bush campaign, and that Jeb Bush train is going off the rails right now. Jeb Bush's campaign is out of control. Look at Jeb Bush. At a snap, he can go nuts on somebody. Have you seen the video when someone came out behind him, and it was in Iowa, and he was it was something about illegal immigration. I forget what he said. It wasn't, anchor babies. That's it. Anchor babies. Got it. So he's talking about anchor babies. So someone behind him said, do you have a better word for anchor baby? Hillary Clinton saying, American citizen and stuff. And he's like, he just goes nuts. And the video's out there, okay? Just look at Jeb Bush snaps that reporter in Iowa. I'm sure it's going to pop up. So he goes nuts on this person. At the end, he's like, well, just don't yell a question behind me. This guy was a two-term governor. Keep in mind, a pretty successful governor in Florida. But he looks like he's losing control. It may be, I've said this before, maybe he just doesn't want to be there. You know, you go to an event or something, you go somewhere and you're like, I really don't want to be here tonight. I don't want to be here today. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. This is not me today. I don't want to do this. You know, you're going to work some days and you're like, I don't really want to be here. He really didn't want to be there that day. And go back to New Hampshire. You remember that town hall thing C-SPAN did that got about 10 people, not 10 people to watch, but it wasn't really advertised that much. Jeb Bush tried to make a joke about a t-shirt or something at the end, and he completely dropped the ball. Dude, Jeb, advice from Matthew Brower of the Brower Report. If you can't deliver the line, don't try the line. Did you even practice it? It didn't look smooth. It didn't look smooth at all. Now, I can tell you, Ben Carson, when he did that brain surgery thing, he practiced that one. Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. And you can tell sometimes these questions, they don't know them because they don't really have the canned response at these debates. But Jeb Bush doesn't look like he wants to be there. Now, some people that want to be there, Lindsey Graham wants to be there, but he's not going to win. Let's look at it. Lindsey Graham's not going to win. Rick Santorum's not going to win. Now, Rand Paul is like, well, think about it. He's polling 1%, but I don't trust these polls all the time. I think he's still going to be in. Ted Cruz, he's all in. Donald Trump, I think he's all in. Jeb Bush, I don't know. This could be the most epic meltdown in terms of fundraising. He's raised over $100 million. You think for $100 million you can buy like an Android robot that would do a better job than you, or or somebody that can actually prep you for a debate or a forum, or prep you for nasty questions or snide questions on the campaign trail? You think with that much money and that much preparation and that much political experience, especially coming from a family of, your father and your brother were presidents of the United States, you would think he would be much more prepared, but he was not very prepared at all. So this intern, and I got a question on, what do you think about Santorum's tax plan? I don't even know what his tax plan is. Think about it. Okay, let's think about this for a second. Santorum's getting no coverage, and that's a good question. What do you think about Santorum's tax plan? I don't know. And I've got some people that, give me the information throughout the day, but Santorum's polling 1% or less. I think he got one person, and this was out there for a while. He had a campaign event in Iowa where one person showed up, and the answer is flat tax, apparently, on Periscope. Flat tax. Now, I'll give you some my tax plan stuff. What the stuff I like. Flat tax, I can live with it. I can live with it. 15%, something like that. I can do it. Now, here's the problem. IRS is still a business. That's my thing. I don't really like that. Now, national retail, I'm more of a fair tax person, but the actual retail sales tax would be around 23%, which is higher than 15%. Now, would the flat tax eliminate all of the deductions and stuff? Don't know, because they're not being very specific. I mean, you say, we'll do a 50% flat tax, but you still get this, and this deductions. We need specific plans, but we don't really get them. Now, Trump has a 4-tier plan that he put out there, and I saw it when it first came out, but it wasn't very specific on his website in terms of, is it kind of 100,000, 200,000, or whatever. And I like the fair tax, and some people say, I don't like it, it hurts the poor. Well, there's a part of the fair tax where they get a rebate, and I don't even like the rebate. Here's the thing. President Obama and the Democrats always talk about skin in the game, okay? Skin in the game. So let's get everybody skin in the game then. Everybody pays a percentage. Natural sales tax. Let the retailers pick up the sales tax. That means you can take your money, let's say you want to put the money into a 401k and it would never be taxed. You don't have to do a Roth anymore. You can actually go 401k with no tax penalties. That's awesome, folks. You can invest your money in the stock market and not get punished by being successful. You think the hedge fund managers would love it, right? Big banks would love it. And here's the thing, the banks will love it even more because guess what? You put money in the banks so they can loan out money to people that want to pay interest to them. The thing is, they don't want something like this because it empowers the people with economic freedom. Think about that. They want control. If they control you with free stuff, control you with the tax system, control you through the healthcare system, it's never about giving you what you need. It's about the control that they can do. The Nazis in Germany in that 1930s, they did the same damn thing. And I'm sorry, folks, they did the same thing. They promised free healthcare, free education, free everything. They put people to work through government programs. Oh, wow, see? They had a stimulus program as well. They're stimulating the economy with works programs. But see, folks, it didn't work. It just didn't work. The Soviets put people to work too, in camps. Communism and socialism doesn't work. Look at Greece. Free education, free healthcare, free everything. They're talking about 90% tax brackets for the rich. You know what the rich did? They say, kick rocks down the street, we're moving. They moved. Guess where they moved? To the United States of America. And they're still on the sideline. So who gets hurt the worst when you raise taxes like that? Who gets hurt the worst? They're like, the rich people deserve it. They deserve to get hurt. Why? They're the ones creating the damn jobs for you in the first place. You cannot create all these government jobs without having to raise taxes or print the hell out of money. And you print a bunch of money, you create inflation. It's not worth anything anymore. Think about it. It's simple economics. And here's the thing. In high school, in college, they don't teach it. You know why? Because if you understood it, you would be like, oh, hell no, I'm not doing this. You would think that they would actually care about that. They don't. We live in a very, very sad world right now. Really sad. Because we depend on the government way too much for everything. It is truly amazing what's going on in this country right now. Truly is. So, Jeb Bush, get a hold of your people. I mean, honest to God. Did you fire her? Didn't see any news about that. So this Lauren Batchelder decided to go rogue. Don't know if she went rogue or not. But Jeb Bush's campaign is definitely out of control. Just my personal opinion, but whatever works for him. Whatever works for the guy. All right. What's what we want to do next here? We'll do this one. Officer denied service at an Olive Garden. And you're like, you might say, Olive Garden's not real Italian. Well, it's not real Italian. It's decent food, okay? It's decent food for the price. So they're like, hey, Olive Garden? I know. I do eat Olive Garden occasionally. But this came out of KCTV5, Kansas City. A Kansas City police officer was denied service at an Independence restaurant because of he had a handgun. According to KCTV, Officer Michael Holsworth posted on Facebook saying he was on duty and was meeting his family for a birthday lunch at the restaurant near Nolan Road and U.S. Highway 40 on Saturday. Now, this article was posted back on the 13th. So it just happened over the weekend. While he was waiting, Holsworth said an employee told him they don't allow guns in the restaurant. Oh, really? You don't allow guns in the restaurant? Oh, that's awesome. So when you get robbed, make sure you tell the robbers there are no guns allowed. It's a gun-free zone. I'm sure they will shoot you for being stupid. I mean, honestly, come on, guys. You can't do that. So Can you imagine the 17, 18-year-old kid going up saying, officer, you have a gun. We don't allow guns in here. Well, that takes a brass set to go up to an officer saying we don't allow guns. If I was that police officer, I was like, okay, family, let's leave and make sure that we post a sign on your Olive Garden. I'll make sure to tell all the police officers in your community that you don't allow guns in your workplace. And we'll make sure to put a big billboard out front too for you, just to help you out. To let everybody know, no guns allowed. So to make sure the criminals know there's no guns allowed there, and that the police officers cannot come in with guns also. Because, you know, a police officer with a gun, you know, is very intimidating, especially to people that, oh, maybe there was people committing crimes in there. Ooh, maybe some of the Olive Garden people had some warrants for their arrest. Maybe something was going on in there, a little shady. Maybe they had a grow house in the back. Maybe not. Maybe a meth lab. Who knows? But this Olive Garden in Kansas City decided to double down on stupid and say to the police officer, we don't allow guns in our establishment. Oh, poor babies, poor babies. So Hollingsworth said he was in full uniform and told the worker he was on duty, which required him to have a gun. When he said that he could leave, the employee allegedly said, yes, please leave. So, let me get this. So, Olive Garden employee, not named said in this situation, decides to double down stupid and calls 911. Hey, this is Jimmy Bob from Olive Garden. We're getting robbed. In the nice 911 operator saying, where are you located? Kansas City at Nolan Road in U.S. Highway 40. Oh, you're that gun-free zone. If anybody gets shot, let us know. We'll send the ambulance out to you. Otherwise, you can kick rocks down the street. See, if the 911 operator said that, the police said that, oh, they'll be up in arms. Oh, the police officers didn't come and save our lives. You know, the police officers hate us. Well, you can't have it both damn ways, folks. You can have it both ways. Officers on duty trying to celebrate a birthday party at Olive Garden. Honestly, I want to have a birthday party at Olive Garden. I might have a birthday dinner with some friends or family. I don't know if there's a bunch of kids there. I don't know the ages, but this is just a prime example of liberals having jobs. Sometimes liberals shouldn't have jobs because they act a fool like this. If you had a good conservative up front at the Olive Garden saying, you know, officer, we would like to pay for your meal today because we appreciate what you're doing for the community. And we appreciate keeping us safe. And whenever you're down here, you know, you got a free pasta bowl, you got free salad on the house. You make sure you tell your other officers too. We love y'all. We support everything you're doing for the community, keeping us safe. That'd be the safest damn restaurant in town because you'll have officers all over the place with guns. But, as always, the minimum wage crew that wants $15 a damn hour rears its ugly head once again and says, oh, we don't want guns in our establishment. We don't care if you're on duty. So, another prime example of stupid going on. They said not long after issuing that statement, the president of Olive Garden reached out directly to the officer, Hollingsworth, to apologize. I mean, come on, folks. I mean, there's so much apologizing going on and less action on these people. It says earlier, a representative of the company told KCTV5 News that they were looking into what happened, and all members of law enforcement are welcome at any of their locations. I wish they would have told their employees the same thing. Now, I don't see anywhere where this person was fired. You see, if you let liberals, like this person, I don't know if they're a man, woman, how old they were at this Olive Garden, if you allow them to run wild, they will run wild. Liberalism is running wild in this country. You can do whatever the hell you want, apparently. You can tell an officer, kick rocks down the street, get out of my restaurant because you have a gun, you're on duty. Just remember, the next time something happens and you call damn 911, don't ask the officer to come in because they have a gun and they're on duty. Don't ask that. Don't ask for any help, because you're going to get what's coming to you. And make sure to tell those criminals, gun-free zone, can't get me. Another winner at Olive Garden. Let's go to Paul Ryan. Conservative Review, the website that Mark Levin is associated with now. They wrote an op-ed. Paul Ryan is absolute worst choice for speaker. And I can agree with this, and I'll give you a point here, the reason why. Paul Ryan is the establishment. If John Boehner and MacArthur are trying to convince you to run for House Speaker, you may be a part of the establishment. Ding, 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 ding. Think about it. They're not telling, hey, Matthew Brower, you're not the establishment, run. I'm just joking. They wouldn't want me to run anyways. But think about it. They're not tapping on the shoulder of the anti-establishment Republican guy that's about liberty and freedom to run for House Speaker. Remember, House Speaker is the third most powerful person in the federal government. You're like, huh? Third most powerful? Who? I don't get that. Okay. It goes. And if you're watching Periscope, this is fun. President Obama, Vice President Biden. You got two real gurus up top, okay, right now. Third person is John Boehner. And here's a fun fact, in case you don't watch the show, and you should be watching the show or listening to the show Blog Talk Radio. You learn a lot of things on this show. The House Speaker does not actually have to be a member of the House. You're like, Matthew, yes he does. Doesn't have to. So you actually can vote for me if you like to. Just kidding. You don't have to. If you're a congressman or watching the show, you're getting an education on what happens. You can vote for anybody to be House Speaker. You're like, how does that work? It's easy. The congressmen, the 435 congressmen, fun fact, Democrats and Republicans, independents, how many independents? I think there might be one or two of them in the House right now. They actually vote for the Speaker. The problem is if the Republicans get too shattered, among different candidates, the Democrats and all of their group think, but they are always saying they're very independent thinkers. Yeah, they will go to groupthink, and all of them will vote for Nancy Pelosi. So if you get too much of a faction of the Republican Party members don't vote for the same person, you will have Nancy Pelosi as the House Speaker, which means she'll be third in charge of the country if you go in terms of succession order. So we don't want that, and I get that. But here's the thing. The American people said in 2010, we want a Republican House. Got it. 2012, getting close to, getting more senators. Then, at the 2014, the Republicans got the Senate. Now, did they get a filibuster-proof majority or a veto-proof majority there? But we've got, the Freedom Caucus. They're putting up McCarthy to be the House Speaker. Then he gets into this sex scandal thing. Republicans, Democrats, there's always a sex scandal. They're always doing something. But it was a Democrat being cool because that's what they do. They just bang everything they see. And they're allowed to, right? You're Democrats. What do you expect? They're liberals. So, look at what's going on in the House. Like the Freedom Caucus. And all these caucuses trying to push people through. I want a liberty-minded individual. And I say individual. I want someone that's not going to be completely controlled by the party. I want someone that's an independent thinker. And I think I'm trying to think of his name, and I'm sorry, but down in Southwest Florida, There was a congressman, I think, out of Florida, 18, forgive me if I get it wrong, Clausen, that voted for, I think it was Rand Paul the last time, and he's a Rand Paul city senator. So, and that one vote didn't make a big difference, okay? It didn't make a huge difference. It was more of a protest vote, and I get that. But I really think that we need to start looking at who is a liberty-minded person, okay, that will get things done. And I'm sorry, but Paul Ryan is not that guy. Paul Ryan was the establishment choice for Mitt Romney. Think about it. Think about it. We got to think about things now, folks. Paul Ryan was the establishment choice because they wanted a fresh, quote unquote, young face to run for vice president. What did Paul Ryan really do for that ticket? He didn't really do anything for that ticket. And here's the thing. Paul Ryan was like, I better win that House election because I ain't going to win this presidential election. Because you're like, you would think, oh, when did he have to resign? He didn't have to resign his seat. So he was like rolling the dice. If I become vice president, I'm good to go. But if he wins his House seat, he's good to go still. He's still in the federal government. So that's the key here. Paul Ryan is now the establishment. If you think he's not, just look at the record. Just look who he's hanging out with. I'm not saying you can't talk to people, but Paul Ryan is the establishment now. I hate to say it, folks, but he is. And have you seen him lately on TV? Think about it. Have you seen him anywhere lately, Paul Ryan? Nope. After his loss in 2012, where has he been? Because here's the thing. Here's the thing, folks. People like a winner, right? People like hanging out with people that, don't get the job done. They have a bad attitude. The quote-unquote, losers. And I'm not saying all people are losers that don't want to hang out with. But think about it. People gravitate to winners, right? Look at Trump. He wins a lot. So people, he's a smart businessman, so people gravitate to him. And he likes to talk his mind, speak his mind. People like that. People gravitate to Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz has a winning personality. Rand Paul, a little bit of winning personality. Sometimes he kind of goes off to the libertarian train a little bit and he loses some of the conservatives. But there's a lot of good candidates out there. If people look for a winner, and when you lose, he lost. Now, he won a House race in 12, okay? He won that. Pretty much by default. Because people knew him, they liked him in the district, okay? I think John Boehner keeps winning. But look at Paul Ryan lost in 2012. He lost. And what real value did he bring to that ticket? What value did he bring? I'm saying it now. No one can tell me what Paul Ryan brought as a added value to that ticket. Nothing. I don't see a thing that he brought. Said, oh, he can bridge the gap between the young people and the voters. He can win Wisconsin. I don't think they even won Wisconsin, folks. Remember, Republicans in Wisconsin, besides Scott Walker's governor and some other, that state is heavily rooted blue with Democrats. If you thought you were going to win that state by picking a Republican in a blue state that's really not as red as you maybe think he is, think about that. Think about it. They needed to select a liberty-minded individual to run as VP. They could have picked someone that was stronger. They could have. They didn't. Maybe they were afraid if they ran someone really strong and they lost to Obama, it might have been the end. Think about it. Let's think of a sports analogy. Okay, it's the big game. Okay, it's a baseball game. Just for instance, you've got two of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball going against each other. 1 and 2. Maybe there's like 1 and 1. It's 1A and 1B. They're that good. Someone's going to win. Someone's going to lose. Do you think that they wanted to run their A-game Republican out there, maybe, as a VP candidate and absolutely blow it up because if they lose to Obama and Biden? I'm just thinking strategy here. I'm not saying that's all actuality here. But think about it. Would they really want to run someone like that out there? I don't know. But Paul Ryan, he is now the establishment. Let's go on to WashingtonTimes.com. Pulled up an article. Armed guards protect Senate Democrats as they demand new gun control laws. It's the irony of it all. The Democrats say we need stronger gun control laws. You know, people can't be trusted with guns. But they might have armed security all around them, protecting them from who? From us, the American people? From terrorists? Who are they protecting themselves from? So on this article, they pulled up, it had Harry Reid with several Capitol Hill police officers surrounding him with guns. I'm perplexed. So you trust guns around you to protect you, but you don't trust the people with the guns. Now, there's this meme that goes around. I've mentioned before. There was once a movie that had only the military and the police had the guns. It's called Schindler's List. Think about that. Authoritarian dictatorships don't want you to have guns. Remember, they said it's for your protection. Hitler back in the 1930s took the guns from the Jews first. This is for their protection. What did he do to the Jews? He rounded up, put them in concentration camps, and gassed them and murdered them. Performed scientific experiments on them. Destroyed them. He rounded up Jews from other countries to do that to them as well. So you're telling me that you want to disarm people because you can't trust them. I think we shouldn't be trusting the government because they don't trust us. The Second Amendment was created by the Founding Fathers. They understood. Because guess who was trying to disarm them? The king was trying to disarm them. And they were like, no, you may not disarm us. We do no longer want to be your servants anymore. Or you tax us. Remember, that tea tax was minuscule compared to what we got going on today. If they would have raised the taxes like that, there would have been a full-fledged revolt, and anybody that was pro-British would have been turning against them immediately. Talk about a small tax on tea created a revolution that changed the face of the earth. Pretty amazing, folks. Pretty amazing stuff. But we're talking about the Democrats continue to use armed guards. And look at the president. He has armed people all around him too. If the guns are so bad, get rid of them, President Obama. Don't protect yourself. Here's the thing. Live as you see we should all live. Create the example. Be the example for us. It's like liberals all the time. We should save the environment. We shouldn't be, driving these cars that have all these fossil fuels and create CO2 and damage the atmosphere. Do you know trees and plants eat CO2? I know it's an amazing fact. You're actually feeding plants when you drive your car. Pretty cool stuff. But let's all talk about science or anything facts. So the president makes these decisions, and these liberals are like, we should really cut back on the carbon. Well, tell that to China, tell that to India. Tell yourself that when you fly in your G6 plane all around, completely inefficient. The big airliners are actually more efficient than them. Because they fit more people in, it's much more cost effective. But that's not talking about cost effectiveness or actual numbers, because that's very confusing to liberals, because they talk about unicorns and rainbows and stuff, and that's what they believe in. They believe in hoaxes. They believe in things that make you feel good inside. Like, I saved a tree today. Good job. Too bad that liberal's driving a car full of real wood. Because they don't want the fake wood in their car. And they're high-end Jaguar or Maserati or Porsche or whatever they're driving. There's real wood in those cars. And my God, real wood matters. Or they'll live in their house with real wood floors, mahogany or pine or whatever they're using. They won't use the fake stuff because that's going too cheap. Or, as Tyson pulls up on Periscope, acid batteries in the Prius. Actually, it's been very well recorded. The Prius is the most environmentally harmful car on the road because they're lead batteries. Wow. But they're saving the environment. But try to get rid of that battery. That battery is like toxic. But it saves our atmosphere. They can't prove it, folks. One major volcanic eruption in Yellowstone Park will completely destroy so much stuff. Look it up. These are the facts. They don't talk about facts. If you have a couple major volcanoes go off at the same time, it can affect the world's temperature by a couple of degrees. A couple degrees lower temperature will destroy crops. Fun fact. Cooler weather is actually worse than warmer weather. You're like, no, because I sweat and I smell really bad. No, it's not because of that. Now, I mean, some people should wear deodorant, don't get me wrong. But look at the facts of the situation. You've got all of these scientists coming out saying it's a hoax. They don't talk about those scientists. But if you had a couple of degrees lower temperature, average temperature, food supplies will start dying. The plants will start dying. But it's a fact, warmer weather, you can grow more crops. If you had a longer growing season, you can actually feed more people. Amazing. Look at the Midwest. If they have early snowfall, it can kill off crops. But they say we might even go into a cooling period right now, which actually, if you had a cooling period, it might even be worse off than actually having a warming period. Think about it. Think about it. This is the facts. The facts are something they don't want to talk about. The facts are the facts are the facts. So we might be even go through a cooling period, which means there will be more starvation in the world. But, you know, that's fine. Facts. I mean, facts, they don't want to talk about facts. I mean, come on. Why do we want to talk about facts on any of the shows? Let's talk about Common Core math and fun stuff, right? That's what we don't want to do, right? We don't want to talk about real facts and information. God forbid us all. All right. You know what? I like talking to people. Thanks for watching Periscope. I want to say that. I mean, you're watching me talking about all these things. If you're watching on Periscope and you want to call in, studio's right here. Amazing thing about the internet, I can run an internet radio show from a laptop. Pretty cool stuff. So give us a call, 347-884-8627. Listen live on blogtalkradio.com. Thank you. We appreciate it. You listen on the iTunes stream afterwards, or you're clicking the links afterwards. Thank you for listening to us. We greatly appreciate it. All right. Let's go to... Oh, here's a good one. Football coach wearing police uniform allegedly confronts referee. This referee said, hey, you can't be in your full uniform. This police officer, Lake Wells, Florida, went out and actually he's an assistant coach for a football team. And the referee felt that, this is unsafe. I don't feel safe with a police officer with a gun. He says he might be intimidating people. So, Lake Wells, Florida, Fox 13 News out of Central Florida posted this. For 15 years, a Polk County referee has made the tough calls from the sidelines. But now the referee, who doesn't want to be identified because, no balls, no courage, because he just wants to make assumptions and he's lawyered up, by the way, too, because he might want to sue. But he doesn't want to be identified. No, don't identify me. I have the courage to stand up to the police officer on the field, but don't identify me. This is like ridiculous stuff. It's calling foul on a police officer's behavior. The incident happened last month during a Bach Academy football game. Officer Travis Forling showed up to help coach in his full police uniform. He said, I pulled the head coach off to the side at halftime and said, have your officer, if he's going to continue to be on the sideline, remove his firearm and taser and go on with the game no problem, the referee said Monday. The refs said he made 2 requests to the head coach, but Worley didn't change out of his uniform. According to a formal complaint that was filed when leaving the game, the referee says Worley confronted him. He stopped me. I was walking to my vehicle, so he basically brought me to a halt stop. I need to talk to, he said. According to the complaint, the referee said Worley asked for his name and wrote it down. He said Worley asked him if he had told the head coach law enforcement wasn't allowed on the field. When he walked off, he said, "I'm going to check you out. I worked in law enforcement." So I know what it means when a cop tries to find something wrong with someone, the referee said. The ref said the weapons were the only thing he took issue with. Lake Hills Police Department is launching an internal investigation. Officials said whether or not an officer can be in uniform off duty falls into a gray area. I mean, this referee, it wasn't like the opposing coach had a problem. Like, it's like, this guy on the other side is trying to intimidate my players. You know, he's got a taser and a gun. It wasn't even the other coaches on the other side that were having the problem. It's this referee. Now, this referee doesn't want to be identified. I got a feeling there's an agenda there. Then he's all of a sudden lawyering up on and trying to find out, you know, what he can do. What are his options? Well, eventually you're going to have to go to court and face the public. Ooh, that would be amazing. Then we know who the person is making the accusation. Now, this was a one-on-one conversation. Not to say that the conversation didn't happen, but I would have to have the facts of the situation, which we don't have all the facts. So, another accusation, another police officer. The war on police continue in this country. No respect for law enforcement, and don't identify me, but I've got a complaint. Okay. A disturbing story that's coming out of Auburn Hills, Michigan. A woman accused of firing a gun at the vehicle of a fleeing shoplifter in Michigan was charged Tuesday with a misdemeanor count of reckless use, handling, or discharge of a firearm. Tatiana Duval Rodriguez, 46, of Clarkston, Michigan, is accused of shooting at the tires of a vehicle last week in the misguided attempt to disable the vehicle to stop 2 reported shoplifters at a Home Depot in Auburn Hills, Michigan, according to a news release from the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office in the Auburn Hills Police Department. Now, she shouldn't have done it. Don't shoot at the tires of a car of shoplifters. Don't do it. Not a good idea. I can agree with that. Now, don't use a bad situation as the poster child for gun control. It's like the person had the DUI in their car. Okay? They made a bad decision in the car. Does it mean we ban the damn cars? We don't ban people from being in the sun because the sun can cause skin cancer. Do we? No. We don't ban people from singing bad karaoke because they're not good singers. Some people should, I guess. But we don't do those things. That's not American. It's not American at all. So don't use your bad example as a poster child for gun control. Gun control doesn't work. Have you noticed? All the mass shootings, all gun-free zones. So let's just ban all the guns. That would be perfect. So who's going to have all the guns? The police and the military. And what did we discuss a few minutes ago? Watch the movie Schindler's List and see who had all the guns. The military and the police. And what happened? Millions died. It can happen again. You're like, Matthew, you're out of your damn mind. It could never happen here. They would never round up people in the United States. Folks, it's happened 2 recorded times in the history of the United States of America. We've rounded up people. The federal government has rounded up American Indians and put them on reservations. The federal government actually went out and killed women and children when the men were away. Facts. Facts. If you think it can't happen again, you are living under a damn rock. You're probably one of the first ones they take to the camp. Now, I'm not saying it would happen again, but if you do not learn from history, you're doomed to repeat history once again. Second time people round up the United States of America, recorded history. Americans of Japanese descent rounded up by Franklin Roosevelt, World War II, and put into internment camps. Because there was a fear that they may be loyal to the Empire of Japan. You're like, that couldn't have happened. Look it up. It's a fact. Two major cases in American history that this has happened. And guess what? You might have learned about the American Indians on the reservations. Now, they would not tell you what happened, what occurred to get them to the reservations, but I can guarantee you this, mark my words, I never heard about the Japanese internment camps until a few years ago. You didn't hear about it in high school, middle school, elementary school, college. Never damn talked about it. Not once. Because they protect the Democrat. They protect the socialist, the Democrat socialist, Franklin Roosevelt. The guy that put wage controls in. He put wage controls in. Do you know? We said it on the earlier show. He created wage controls. He said you cannot get paid more. That's not American. Is it? Hell no, it's not. Why are people not getting mad? You know that thing that's like, I guess it's newsroom or whatever. It's like, I'm really hell mad. I am so damn mad. But no one's mad. Well, that's what they do. See, the problem is, this is the situation, y'all, in America. We are the frogs in the water that's gradually boiled. Now we're getting boiled to death. But if you turned up the heat and really educated kids up front, we might have a different situation. American Indians were rounded up and put on reservations. I do have American Indian blood in me, okay? I do have ancestors that are American Indians in my lineage. Now, I don't know I'm Japanese American. But this is scary stuff. It has happened before. They took the guns from the American Indians. And you know they disarmed them? We're here to protect you. Then they put them in schools. Federally ran schools. Oh, shocker. See all these interesting facts that come out? They try to civilize them. The standard of the government. Isn't that what the Nazis did in Germany? They tried to indoctrinate their children and people to think the way that they thought. But the Democrat Party's of independent thinkers, right? Apparently not. I think Anderson Cooper could have done some justice for himself and asked the question, wasn't a Democrat Franklin Roosevelt that rounded up all those Japanese Americans and threw them in internment camps? Did the federal government not in the past, take American Indians and put them on reservations and disarm them and murder their families? It happened before, folks. You gotta think about it. Human beings, in certain situations, will become groupthink. Nazi Germany, perfect example, groupthink. Now, we've got groupthink in this country. It's called the Democrat Party. The party of free stuff. Taxpayers pay for it. Scary. And Woodrow Wilson was the start of this. Federal Reserve Bank. Actually, fun fact, and I love fun facts in the show because you have to understand the dynamics of our country and its history and what they've done. League of Nations, it was predating the United Nations. Wilson created that after World War I. Not only that, during his term, they created, I forget which amendment, I do apologize, but they created the amendment that actually the U.S. senators, I'm sorry, I'll go back. The original part of our founding was that the states, called state rights, right? The people would elect the representatives, House of Representatives. You would elect your congressman, the Congress, to your individual district. Now, you would elect your representatives to your state capital. They would, therefore, choose your U.S. senators because they wanted to make sure the people had a voice in the House. Like the House of Commons in Great Britain. You had the House of Representatives, which is loosely based off them. Now, U.S. senators was kind of like loosely based off, you could say, the House of Lords in Great Britain. They did steal some ideas in terms of how to set up the government, but they didn't want a king here in the United States. Most of them didn't want a king. So the U.S. senators were actually elected by the state houses. Your state legislatures actually elected them. But during the 19-teens, during Woodrow Wilson, they pushed through a amendment to the Constitution, which enabled the people to vote for the U.S. senators. They said it was giving the power to the people, which actually it hurt the people more than ever because you get more corruption. Because if you had a state house that continued to, you would hold your senators. The senators would be held accountable by your state house. And if they weren't behaving right and your state house didn't do the right thing for you by getting rid of them, you completely throw out your state house. But as always, good politicians want to keep power. The easiest way was to create a farce for the American people that they actually controlled who wins the Senate. Very interesting stuff. You can't make it up. It's all true. So, moving on, let's see here. Ted Cruz created an app. Washington Examiner posted this. Ted Cruz rocks the web with game-style app. Senator Ted Cruz's game-like app, Cruz Crew, can't make it up, has become so popular that you could call it Call of Duty Candidate Cruz. More than any other campaign application for mobile tech users, Cruz Crew has exploded with more 15,000 downloads in the first 3 months since it was launched. The campaign told secrets. It's just a sign that of the 2016 presidential campaign is happening online, out of the media spotlight. And some like Cruz are especially good at making it connect with millennials. Already a big player on Periscope and other digital avenues, Cruz first launched a crowdfunding platform called Cruz Crowd that pushed small donations to the campaign. Then 3 months ago, they scored another run with Cruz Crew, which the campaign said has boosted social engagement with a Republican candidate. The app, with users in every state, encourages supporters to communicate with friends about Cruz's campaign. It's a good social media app, apparently. I mean, you want to get people involved, like we do with our social media stuff, but Cruz has a much better organization than we do. But very interesting. We'll see how it works out for Ted Cruz, as I don't think Ted Cruz is getting out anytime soon. I think he's in this for the long haul. But really cool using the social media as a way to get his campaign out there. Now, if we had Trump hair, that would be epic. You could do an app with Donald Trump's hair on you, and you could post pictures and do memes of him. That would be epic. That would be epic. And we'll see how the social media goes into this, because as we've seen, Donald Trump has sucked the air out of the room in a lot of these news organizations. I want the candidates to get more information out there. If they can't get it out there, they have no chance of winning. And I want to hear from all the candidates, because I want to make an educated decision myself. Because I have not endorsed anyone, and I'm not supporting one individually right now. I want to make sure that I can be an independent voice and share my thoughts on the candidates without trying to give you too much of my personal viewpoints on them. Now, I will give you some personal viewpoints, but I want to make sure that you get real information, good and bad, about all the candidates to make an educated decision. 2 more stories. I'll get to the feel-good story today because, folks, the people demand the feel-good story. Fox News 13 out of the Tampa Bay area ran a story. It's getting a lot of information out there. Aunt loses $127,000 lawsuit against 8-year-old nephew who jumped into her arms. This is really concerning. A woman who sued her 8-year-old nephew for $127,000 for jumping into her arms at a party, causing her to fall and break her wrist, will not be awarded any money. The Connecticut jury decided Tuesday, and the New York Post reported. The 6-member panel took only 25 minutes to deliberate that Jennifer Connell's suit against Sean Tarella, who is now 12, ultimately ruling unanimously in the boy's favor, the Post reported. Connell of New York City blamed Tarella for causing the injury in March 18th of 2011. So it took a few years to figure out, I might want to sue my nephew that's not even a teenager. Keeping it classy. So in 2011, while attending the birthday party in Westport, Connecticut, the 54-year-old Connell testified she loves the very loving, sensitive boy, but thought he should be held accountable. All right, shocker here. It's a damn 8-year-old. 8-year-olds do stupid things. They're kids. They're not adults. But I guess when you're 8 years old, the 54-year-old woman now, when she was 8, she was the prim and proper princess of the world, never did anything wrong. So she went on to say the boy was only the defendant in this case. Connolly, human resources manager, keeping it classy, says she has suffered since the injury, which she described Friday in court as the boy and his father looked on. All of a sudden, he was in the air. I had to catch him, and we tumbled onto the ground. Connell testified Friday at Connecticut Superior Court in Bridgeport, where she recounted arriving at the Tarala home to attend Sean's birthday party, according to Daily News. I remember him shouting, "Andy Jen, I love you," and there he was flying at me. Now, here's a thing that was not in the... there's more information at foxnews.com about the article. Fun fact, not really fun fact, but a fact about the situation. This boy's mother died a few years ago. So that's why only the father was at the court proceedings. The scary, ironic part about all this thing is the health insurance, the life insurance, I think paid recently to him. And I think that's the reason why she's suing to make money. This is the ultimate garbage person moment in the history of the world. So your sister dies. The money goes to your nephew, which is your sister's son. And you want to sue to take that money away from his future. That's being an asshole. I'll say it now. Keeping it classy, woman. And you're a human resources manager. I'm sure that your folks in your work are really looking up to you right now because apparently you keep it classy on a daily basis. That is messed up. That's messed up. And hopefully she gets stuck with the court costs and the lawyer's fees. Because you know what? Karma is a bitch. And this woman is a complete piece of garbage and gets everything that she deserves out of this. Good luck. Maybe losing your home now or losing your vehicle because of loans and because of liens and you can't pay the court costs and your lawyer's fees. And the lawyer that took this case, real winner too, real winner. Ambulance chasers, anybody? That's your not so feel good story of the day right there for the aunt that sued her nephew and lost. What a jerk. Now getting into some economic news. In case you haven't noticed, Walmart's been a lot of fires saying they don't pay their employees enough, blah, blah, blah. They ran a really nasty ad during the Democrat debate to those Walmart workers, those ex-workers. That was a really nasty ad. Walmart today, down $6.70 a share, down 10% today in its stock price. Its highest stock price was $90.97 in the last 52-week period. It is down 33%, folks. 33%. So, if you want a true sign of the apocalypse for the U.S. economy in China, remember, Walmart buys so much Chinese goods. Remember this, folks. They are struggling, which means the Chinese are struggling as well. Think about it. Walmart stock suffered its worst one-day loss in more than 27 years. The world's number one retailer warned of weak sales and falling profit as it hikes wages and investments in e-commerce and plans to cut prices. Shares fell 10% today, its lowest price since May of 2012. The news weighed on other chains as well. Target fell 3.5%, Costco down 1.6%, Best Buy down 6%, Chipotle down 4%. When you say you're going to lower prices, what do you do to your competition? It's going to hurt the competition as well. So, earnings per share projected 2017 earnings year down 6 to 12%. Walmart's struggling, folks. If Walmart, the largest retailer in the world, is struggling, the economy is struggling, China's struggling, the U.S. economy is struggling, you're welcome. I've been saying it for a while. You're welcome. So read that article. It's on news.investors.com. You can search out Walmart cuts sales earnings guidance as the stock dives. And as always, folks, we do the feel-good story of the day because why? The people demand the feel-good story. So goodnewsnetwork.org shared a great article that one of our producers pulled up from it tonight. The NFL star keeps returning to help kids from his hometown. Great story. New York Jets defensive end Muhammad Wilkerson, backed by fellow teammates in his foundation, Team 96, TEAM 96, are always lending a hand to young, inspiring athletes, hungry families, and breast cancer survivors. Team 96, named for his jersey number, offers scholarship-based awards to students in Wilkerson's hometown of Linden, New Jersey, giving $1,000 towards college expenses. This year, 13 students have received the financial aid, but the most fun part for Wilkerson is getting to play in the dirt with the kids. Students who attend the Linden High School, Wilkerson's alma mater, can take part in his youth football camp and receive personalized one-on-one coaching from All-Star and some of his teammates. This is a prime example of giving back to your community. You know, you get a lot of these millionaires and billionaires that, they get all their millions and they forget where they came from. This is a good example of someone that didn't forget where they came from and continues to go back to his community and tries to bring kids up and out of poverty and set them up for success. Not the government setting up for success, but he is giving them team building skills and helping them towards college and other great charitable work as well. And he is our feel-good story of the day. New York Jets defensive end Muhammad Wilkerson making a difference in this community. A+ job, Muhammad. Great job. Folks, we are the Brower Report. We are your home of news and views that you can use because we're looking out for you, the American people. And don't forget, Bernie Sanders is nuts. He's crazy. And he got asked a question last night and he didn't know where the hell he was. So don't forget that. If you missed it, it was comical. And I pointed out to my buddies and they're like, did you just notice that Bernie Sanders didn't know where he was for a second? He wants to be your president, folks. He didn't know where he was. He wasn't paying attention. Congrats, Bernie. It's Weekend at Bernie's with Bernie Sanders. Folks, we are the Brower Report. Thanks so much for watching us on Periscope. Remember to share us on Periscope. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget the YouTube channel by going to youtube.com. Search out Brower Report. Facebook.com/Brower Report. And BrowerReport.com, because we are your home of news and views that you can use because we are looking out for you, the American people. Thanks so much for listening. And we'll be back tomorrow night live, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And don't forget, we are live Tuesday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't forget, we'll change the time. Have a great night, and we'll be back tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern. Thank you.